Atal'ai Defenders, also known as the Gauntlet, is the third boss in this Sunken Temple raid. This is fighting 6 different bosses, one at a time. And whenever you kill one of the bosses, that boss then becomes a ghost that you have to deal with for the rest of the fight. Each of these bosses pretty much has one mechanic they have to worry about, and it slowly gets hectic as you complete through all of the different bosses, needing to deal with all their different effects. These ghostly bosses are undead, which means that priests, paladins, and hunters are able to fully CC them down. So if you have enough of those classes, you don't need to worry about those ghostly versions, as long as nobody DPSs. First up, we got Gasher, who has 2 axes. This guy hits the tanks the absolute hardest and needs priority healing on the tanks. He's also going to throw out spinning blade axes that everybody else has to avoid. The longer this guy is alive and longer he's hitting targets, the more damage he deals, so kiting him for short periods of time to drop off his stacks can be very useful. Zolo has the big spiky snake mace, and he's going to cast Chain Lightning. This needs to be interrupted, it does massive damage. If you're not able to keep this guy CC'd once he becomes a ghost, you need somebody with interrupts being focused onto him and able to switch over and interrupt those Chain Lightnings. Zolo is the guy with the big 2-handed axe. He does Frailty, which puts a debuff onto allies that needs to be dispelled, and he also does a Corrupted Slam. This slam hits everybody nearby, so immediately need to move out when he begins to cast it. Loro's got the fancy little hat, and he needs to be interrupted whenever he attempts to cast Demoralizing Shout. If you don't get interrupts on this off, your melee and your hunters are going to be significantly weakened. He's also going to stun and disarm the active tank, so you might need to do some tank swaps whenever those effects go out. Mijan is the caster in the purple robes. This guy's going to put on a Thorns buff, which deals massive damage to your melee attackers. This needs to be purged off ASAP by Shaman or Priest. His Renew casts need to be interrupted to stop him from healing the current active target, and whenever he summons his set of snake totems, all DPS need to switch over and burn those totems down. They cannot live for very long. Finally, Haku in the Warlock garbs is going to summon a lot of demons that you're going to have to deal with, as well as put out Curse of Blood that needs to be decursed as fast as possible. The order of the bosses is completely random, and you're going to get a different order every time you fight them. So you can't be prepared for certain bosses at certain times, and you need to react to the most threatening situation at the current time. I hope this guide helped you out. I'm Zesty Fresh, this is Games, and we'll catch you guys next time.